An 8.5 out of 10, that's the rating I would give Janthir Wilds. I'm Kyo and let me walk you through how I came up with this rating. Let's start with the story. No real spoilers ahead, so no worries. The tale of Janthir Wilds ties into the last Living World episode and continues with characters from the most recent expansion, Secrets of the Obscure. To fully understand the events leading up to Janthir Wilds, it is recommended to have both played the previous Living World story and the Secrets of the Obscure expansion. We are also introduced to a new enemy, the Titans, who threaten the Lowland Coden in their homeland. Players are tasked with investigating this threat, which unravels into something much larger. Titans have been around since the original Guild Wars, and players had to stop an invasion back in that first game. The story starts off slow, especially in the first 45 minutes. There is a lot of dialogue about past events and the history of Janthir. While I'm all for backstory and lore, on release day I was really eager to dive into the new area. Maybe it was because I was streaming, but I found myself wanting to speed up things and get into the action. There are also many more cinematics in this expansion that tie together dialogue and combat. However, the dialogue is strong. Very strong. The conversations are meaningful and deep, and the pacing picks up when we first reach the new areas of Janthir Wilds, which I'll discuss later. The expansion's unique selling points, the spear as a weapon, your new homestead and the Warclaw, are introduced through the story fairly quickly. This means that you can enjoy the spear almost right away, and you'll need the new Warclaw mount to progress through the story. Homesteads are introduced about halfway through. Although the story starts off somewhat slow, it picks up the pace pretty quickly. However, it is much shorter than the last expansion. I do think the length of Janthir Wilds' story is fair, but more will be added in future Living World episodes over the coming months. This was already announced. Personally, I think this is better. It allows me, as someone who doesn't want to rush through the content, to enjoy the story at my own pace and revisit instances for achievements or additional backstory. This was a challenge for me in the last Living World episodes in the expansion. There were so many achievements or story instances tied to them that I ended up completing about half of them. In the past I would have aimed for every story achievement, but that may also be a time management issue on my part. At release, the story is split into 2 acts, each consisting out of 5 chapters. There's plenty to revisit and explore at your own pace. Overall, the story is very solid, and I'm excited to see where it leads to next. Once you start the story, you'll be introduced to 2 new areas, Lowland Shore and Janthir Syntri. Lowland Shore is the first area you'll enter, and it looks stunning. The region is a mix of plains and forests, with beautiful skies, especially at night, so don't forget to look up. There are several villages scattered across the maps, populated by the Lowland Coden. The area has a cozy and welcoming feel. The second area, Janthir Syntri, is much grimmer. It's less colorful, generally darker, and often plagued by bad weather. What makes this map intriguing is the presence of fragments from the past, with ancient ruins reminding us of the White Mantle who inhabited the area 250 years ago. It is a darker and more ominous atmosphere. Janthir Wilds really encourages players to explore both areas, mainly because everything you do seems to matter. Almost every event is tied to an achievement or collection, incentivizing you to participate in the events that pop up. This way, you naturally progress towards completing achievements or feel motivated to hunt for that last event to finish a specific achievement. Renowned hearts are also repeatable in Janthir Wilds, a feature that was already in the game. However, in this expansion, you can also earn achievements and rewards for completing renowned hearts daily. Because they are tied to achievements, even players who have already finished a heart are encouraged to come back and complete it again the next day. Each heart has its own achievement track. While some hearts are easy to repeat, others can take a while to complete daily. For example, there's a heart in Janthir Syntri that can only be completed when certain dynamic events are active, which might leave you waiting 5 to 10 minutes for an event to spawn. I do expect that this will be addressed in future updates. The areas also offer numerous adventures, many of which require you to use your new Warclaw abilities to complete races. Additionally, there are also new crafting materials and currencies to collect when you explore these areas. These currencies and materials can be used to enhance your homestead or to obtain exclusive rewards from hard vendors. All in all, I really like these new areas, especially Lowland Shore. I also appreciate that you're incentivized to return and redo specific hearts. Everything everything you do feels like progress toward an achievement or collection, which makes the experience feel rewarding and worthwhile. Alright, let's have a look at the new features. Let's start with spears. Spears have been introduced as new weapons, and so far they've been a fun addition to the game. Since my elementalist is my main, I spent most of my time playing with the spear on that profession. I think the skill set is well designed. For instance, the elementalist has a special skill that can be powered up by using other spear abilities. Once charged, the special skill can unleash a powerful damage or crowd control effect. So far, the damage output is decent. It's not game changing, but this could always shift with future balance patches. Other professions, like the mesmer, also have strong combos and rotations. For example, you can empower skills 3 and 4 by using skill 2, and after that you can refresh the empower effect using skill 5. It might sound complex, but it's really straightforward in practice. I've been also using a mesmer spear build in PvP and it works really well, and I've also noticed other players using the spear in PvP, and it's definitely making an impact on the meta. I've also been experimenting with the spear on the thief, warrior and other professions. Each one is enjoyable to play, but I'm especially excited to see more meta builds emerging around the spear. It's a great addition to the weapon pool with fun mechanics and lots of potential. The Warclaw received a revamp in the Janthir Wilds Expansion. The Warclaw was the only mount available in World vs World, and it didn't offer many useful features in PvE. Now it plays a crucial role in the expansion. In Janthir Wilds, the Warclaw gets a fresh update, most notably with its new abilities. One example is the Sniff ability, which lets you locate hidden treasures containing valuable rewards. It is also used in dynamic events to track down traces of monsters or enemies. The Chain Pull ability is a crowd control skill that is also integral to many dynamic events. For instance, there are events where you have to chase enemies and use Chain Pull to slow them down. The Lance skill allows you to throw a spear from your Warclaw. It deals some damage, but I don't use it as often and it's fairly straightforward. The most significant change to the Warclaw is that you can use it while in combat. Normally, when you are attacked by an enemy, you can't mount up until you're out of combat. However, with the Warclaw you can hop on your mount mid-combat to escape quickly or get back into the fight. In some meta events it is necessary to mount up mid-combat and use this chain pull to break an enemy's break bar. Keep in mind that when you mount up in combat, there is a short cooldown before you can mount up on your Warclaw in combat again. In terms of movement, the Warclaw now has an air jump feature. Based on your endurance, you can jump again while in the air, allowing you to cover longer distances or leap over gaps without needing to switch mounts. Another benefit is that you won't take fall damage while mounted on your Warclaw, making it unique compared to other mounts. That said, if I need to quickly move vertically or cover large distances, I still prefer my Skyscale or my Raptor. I'm curious to see how the Warclaw will evolve. Will its abilities be integrated into future events and stories, or will it end up like the Siege Turtle, a fun mount but overshadowed by others that excel in crowd control or movement? Time will tell. And up to the next feature. Homesteads are a long-awaited feature that many players have wanted, and now they're finally here. Once you unlock the homestead through your story, you can easily access it by summoning a portal, and any of your characters can use it once it's unlocked. After completing the introduction, you're free to build and customize your homestead using materials collected through the expansion. You can place objects almost everywhere, creating your home to your liking. It's your space after all. When building your homestead, you have various options to enlarge, move or adjust objects. While there are plenty of customization options, I found the process of enlarging and placing objects a bit unintuitive. There are too many buttons for adjusting objects, whereas I think it could be simplified with just a few core functions. Add an object, adjust existing object, remove object, enlarge, and rotate. Right now you have separate options to place and move an object, but if you want to make small adjustments, you need to switch to another set of controls. It works, but I think it could be smoother. Your homestead also features various crafting nodes you've unlocked through your stories or purchased from the trading post, making it easy to gather materials in one place. Along with these nodes, you'll find your mounts and other collectibles you've accumulated over the years. A really nice feature is that you can park your alternative characters in your homestead. Once you log out in your homestead and switch to another character, the character you just logged out of will appear there. This character will also receive an XP boost while logged out in the homestead, giving you a bonus when you return and play with them. Overall, homesteads are a fun addition, but for me they weren't a high priority feature. I enjoyed building and experimenting with the customization options, but beyond placing alts and personalizing the space, there doesn't seem too much long-term value for players. My concern is that homesteads may be abandoned by players unless more features are added in future updates. Hopefully we'll get some more features soon in upcoming patches. Now let's move on to the final verdict. As I've mentioned at the start, Janthir Wilds is a solid expansion. The story is engaging, the 2 new areas are visually stunning and rewarding, and there are plenty of extra features to dive into. For me, the new zones are the highlight. They look fantastic, have fun events, and they really encourage you to participate and return and keep you engaged. It's a well-deserved 8.5 out of 10. By the time this video is released, we'll likely already have or may be close to getting a new chapter for the Janthir Wilds expansion, with another one coming in the months after, so be sure to log in when it comes out and enjoy the ride. What do you think of Janthir Wilds? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!